Who hasn't heard the story of the apple that fell on the head of a scientist, so intelligent that he went on to formulate a theory explaining how the world and the universe work, all sparked by that simple incident? That man was Sir Isaac Newton, an English physicist, mathematician, astronomer, natural philosopher, alchemist, theologian, and author. He is widely recognized as one of the greatest physicists and most influential scientists of all time. His book, The Principia, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, published in 1687, is considered the most influential scientific work in history. In this discussion, we will uncover the secrets of one of the most brilliant minds to ever live. We'll explore his background, his unique ways of thinking, and the extraordinary dedication he poured into his research. Isaac Newton was born on January 4, 1643, in Woolsthorpe by Colsterworth, England. He was born prematurely, just 3 months after his father died. When Newton was 3, his mother remarried and left him in the care of his grandmother. At school, Newton had no friends because others found his intelligence intimidating. As a result, he spent much of his time reading and building his own toys. Between the ages of 12 and 17, Newton attended the King's School in Grantham. His family later pulled him out of school and wanted him to become a farmer. However, due to his remarkable intelligence, the school principal persuaded the family to let Newton continue his education. He returned to school and graduated at the age of 18 with excellent grades. In 1661, Newton was admitted to Trinity College, Cambridge University, as a sub-Caesar, a student who paid his way by doing menial tasks for other students. At the time, university teachings were still rooted in Aristotelian philosophy, but Newton was more interested in the works of modern thinkers like Descartes, as well as astronomers such as Copernicus, Galileo, and Kepler. It was at Cambridge that Newton began to make his greatest scientific contributions. He immersed himself in a wide range of natural philosophy, from mathematical physics to alchemy. Newton pioneered new directions in optics, mechanics, and celestial dynamics, laying the groundwork for scientific inquiry that continues to this day. He spent many years studying the natural philosophies of past scientists, trying to understand how their theories connected and grappling with their complexity. In 1664, Newton earned a scholarship, and in 1669, he became the Lucasian Professor of Mathematics, a position that allowed him to pursue his research freely. Newton was so dedicated to his studies that he never married. The Royal Society still holds 4 books from Newton's personal library. Interestingly, only the first book directly relates to his study of gravity, highlighting the breadth of his interests. Like Van Gogh, Leonardo da Vinci, and Einstein, Newton was a Janussian thinker, someone who could merge seemingly unrelated fields to make groundbreaking discoveries. He built on the knowledge of his predecessors, questioned existing assumptions, and expanded both his own understanding and that of the scientific community. He synthesized centuries of knowledge in natural philosophy and transformed it with his own insights. His major work, The Principia, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, published in 1687, fundamentally changed science. In it, Newton laid the foundation for classical mechanics, redefining how the world understood physics. The book introduced the law of gravity and the 3 laws of motion, which dominated scientific thought for the next 300 years. Newton demonstrated that the same natural laws govern both earthly and celestial motion. He validated his theory by showing the consistency between Kepler's laws of planetary motion and his own law of gravity, helping to solidify the heliocentric model of the universe. For context, heliocentrism is the astronomical model in which the Earth revolves around the Sun, not the other way around. Newton also made major contributions in mechanics, proposing the principles of conservation of momentum and angular momentum. In optics, he built the first reflecting telescope and developed a theory of color based on his observation that a prism splits white light into its component colors. In mathematics, independently of Leibniz, Newton developed both differential and integral calculus. Newton held several prestigious positions during his life: Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge, a title later held by Stephen Hawking, Member of Parliament representing Cambridge, Master of the Mint, and President of the Royal Society. In 1705, he was knighted by Queen Anne, becoming Sir Isaac Newton. The story of the apple falling on Newton's head is a symbolic moment of inspiration. However, few realize that Newton spent nearly 20 years developing his theory of gravity before publishing it in 1687. The falling apple was merely the beginning of a decades-long intellectual journey. Newton reportedly needed only 3 to 4 hours of sleep each night. He worked tirelessly, often pushing himself to the point of exhaustion. His relentless dedication enabled him to solve complex problems and produce some of the most important scientific laws in history. By isolating himself, Newton found answers to the mysteries of the universe. He regularly corresponded with other scientists to seek feedback and alternative perspectives. His methodical approach and perseverance led to the formulation of 4 universal rules of scientific reasoning, which revolutionized problem-solving. According to mathematician Eric Weisstein, who wrote a biography of Newton, by applying these rules, Newton formulated universal laws of nature that solved nearly every major scientific problem of his time. Newton was known for his obsessive work habits. He rarely relaxed, never married, and had no close personal relationships. Despite his wealth, he was not generous with his time or resources. He lived a solitary life, mostly confined to Cambridge or London. He could be vengeful and petty. When angered, he often became uncontrollably hostile. His intense devotion to research led to multiple nervous breakdowns, including a severe one in 1675 following his mother's death. Yet, he always returned to his work with the same intensity. Through his studies, Newton discovered how the universe operates. He calculated planetary masses and described how solar and lunar gravity affect ocean tides, fundamentally changing our understanding of the world. Newton's accomplishments are a testament to his tireless pursuit of knowledge. He once explained that he discovered the law of universal gravitation by thinking about it constantly. Newton died in 1727 without a will, but he left behind a vast legacy of research. His surviving manuscripts and correspondence contain about 10 million words, the equivalent of 150 books. Most of these writings reflect his brilliance in science and mathematics. The enduring question remains, how did Newton arrive at such profound insights? He never left drafts of his famous Principia, only a clean copy for the publisher. He presented his findings in formal language, concealing the intense labor behind them. Newton didn't want others to know the full process of his discoveries. Still, his massive body of written work, done entirely by hand, survives as one of the largest ever produced by a scientist. In a 2005 survey by the Royal Society, both scientists and the public ranked Newton above Albert Einstein in terms of contributions to science. Today, most remember Newton as the man who had an apple fall on his head and discovered gravity. But he was far more than that. He was a visionary, a tireless worker, and a man of unwavering determination. His dedication continues to inspire scientists around the world. Newton changed how we see the universe, and for that, he remains one of the greatest scientists to ever walk the earth.